Printmaker Lar Flom shared the modified cover art in a TikTok video this week where they recorded a time lapse of the book rebinding process. This was all being done for queer Harry Potter fans. The simplified covers of all 7 Harry Potter books are now available on artist website LF Books, where they also accept rebinding commissions. During the process, Flom removes the casing and several pages that feature any mention of the controversial author who has been routinely criticized for her anti-trans views. Of course, we're talking about J.K. Rowling. In February of 2022, a video, the artist said, aimed at engaging critical and give options to people who do still want to enjoy Harry Potter without supporting J.K. Rowling. Customers can buy a single book in the series for $172, while all 7 books are available for $1,200.
Hello, welcome back to the Harry Potter Rebind series. If you're new here, my name's Laura. I'm a trans artist and bookbinder, and I rebind Harry Potter books without J.K. Rowling's name on them, because fuck her. It's been a minute since I posted a bookbinding video, so I figured I would do one video start to finish, minus the printing process of binding a Harry Potter book. So after taking the book apart and removing the pages that need to be removed, I've re-glued some pages and I am gluing on the end pages that I had printed beforehand. Then right here, I am trimming everything down to size so that there's no weird overhang. Next up, the book goes into my finishing press and the spine gets shaved down of all of that extra glue so that I can round it with my little hammer. Not shown here. After that, the spine is re-glued and reinforced. Then once the cover boards and spine are cut to size, they're glued onto this piece of book cloth that has also been pre-cut. Also, I hurt my hand doing laundry somehow, so apologies for my knuckle band-aid. But yeah, everything's glued down with like a 1.5 inch overhang, and then corners are cut so there's no like material buildup once everything is folded over. Next up, the overhang is glued and pulled onto the bookboard, and then that's done on all 4 sides. I've just shown one side here for sake of time. Then the last step is gluing the end pages to the case, and that pretty much finishes the book. Fun little update, my next project is going to be rebinding the Twilight series, so if you're at all interested in that, keep an eye out. That'll be hopefully sometime in the near future. But yeah, thanks for watching.
Well, question 6, with a Bacardi shot, I'd swallow that. I think it's genius that trans artist resells Harry Potter books with J.K. Rowling's name removed. What do we think?
Iconic, literally.
Genius. I'm not sure if genius is the word I would use.
I said iconic
I think
for a
it's
reason.
clever.
Clever.
I think clever is the word.
Okay, I think they're clever, Raji.
Yeah.
I think it's clever that they're doing it. I think it's genius that they're charging that much money for it.
That's okay, and I drink the capitalism in that.
Okay, capitalism.
Wow.
That's a lot.
The reason why we showed you the video is there's a lot of work to do.
There is.
This is very intentional.
Oh, yes.
Because it's a reconstruction. I worried about the possibility of copyright. No, there's not copyright. I satisfy my own question about it. No, they're modifying the book that they have purchased and changing the bindery and first pages. That is not a copyright violation.
So I will share with you, that was my thought too. You're still an intellectual property, and then because of that piece, because although you're altering the book, it's still kind of J.K. Rowling's. And so part of that was, how do we separate the author from the acts of the author and then make money off of that? But to take ownership from that our sibling here who says, you know what, well, I'm going to take that and make it my own and make money off of it. Kudos to that.
Well, that's a good way to stick it to JK. Yeah. I mean, as a trans woman,
no, absolutely.
She came up with a good way. She's like, okay, I'll fix you. I'm going to tear some pages out, redo the cover, and then I'm going to sell it and make money off of your behind. Really.
I tell you, I have to save this shot for a bit later in the show. I mean, oh God, I'm such the Debbie Downer on all the drinks to that today. But I'll tell you, I mean, I'm a journalist. By trade, I'm a journalist. And read your Orwell. They went back and took classic novels and they changed the words. We're going back through we're changing the author. J.K. Rowling is terrible. She is a horrible human being. But this just scares me all to hell. It really does, because when you start erasing the one thing that we don't like, I mean, they're already trying to erase this in Tallahassee and in state houses across the world, in Russia. We're erasing what we don't like, but the eraser is huge, and it is coming for us. This just makes me incredibly uncomfortable.
So are you equating it to equate? Are you saying that it's going to be erasing J.K. Rowling entirely from the picture? Because I don't think that's the intent of it.
Well, the intent
that's why your comparison
is to
goes Orwell.
remove her from
the community that
from her
loves
work.
the story.
Yeah.
Well, I don't agree with that, because the narrative is, so you're still giving the story of that, and I was never a J.K. Harry Potter fan at all. Sure. But from what I gathered from is taking that personalization of J.K., but still giving the meat and potatoes of the story. And so you're giving that story to the masses. However, you're removing the problematic part of it. So although I totally disagree with kind of everything you're saying, but I do understand that it's only fair that we can't erase the problematic person that was there. Like, we gotta accept that problematic person, recognize that problematic person, but then also not share the art that is that problem.
But in the modern
really be erased.
No, that's the thing.
Right?
In the modernization of the technology.
Really erase someone.
That's why
You can't erase a billionaire.
Well,
No.
Hello.
it's not just about erasing a billionaire, though, because the way I look at it, much to John's point, I totally have the same fear, right, thought. But when I see this, right, and take the medium that it is, I think of it from the perspective of, why do people read this, right? This is escapism. This is fantasy. This is people's joy. And to me, it's not so much erasing J.K. Rowling. It's just erasing the trigger, right? Because a person, no one's going to forget who wrote the book. No one's going to forget that. But this is just taking that trigger away so that you don't have to stare at her name all the time. You don't have to be part of that.
Can I just say, if you don't like the science, and they didn't back in the day, that Leonardo da Vinci did, and you go to his work and you just take a little knife and you just cut out his signature at the bottom. The work is fundamentally the same, but it is 100% different as well.
But that's so arbitrary, because we have this written in history and technology and books and news articles and things that cannot be erased by just someone reprinting it.
Yeah, I want to. Somebody commented on this story as it began to make the rounds that I read, and I thought it was a very interesting observation. Andy Warhol, arguably one of his most famous works, was the Campbell soup can, and he took the Campbell soup can and said, "Oh, it's not a product from Campbell's, and it's not a soup can. It is what I see this product is." And so he paints, I understand completely different than this situation, but he paints something and says, okay, now this is a new product. And we loved what Andy Warhol did with Campbell soups. Why isn't this just like that? That this artist, and we'll call the person an artist. Why isn't it like that? That they've taken a product, they have fundamentally and structurally changed the product to create a brand new product, so we embrace the new product. Why wouldn't we do that? Why couldn't that satisfy you in terms of, this is a new product. It's no longer whatever, it's the Sorcerer's Stone. It's no longer that.
But it is fundamentally the same product. It's fundamentally the same product.
Okay.
And that's my argument with the Campbell, that image.
And
I think
Campbell's
that image
still said Campbell's. You still...
But that image helped sell Campbell soups and made Campbell still relevant to this day. And so when you go to and you watch the documentaries, they talk about how the label and the artistry of Campbell's being around for so long it has, part of that attribution, that contribution is Andy Warhol making them relevant again. And so, and technically, yeah, you're not taking away
what this artist is doing.
And that's exactly what it is. But I do agree with the removing of the trigger, and that was the better way of saying it. So you can still love that whole genre of fantasy and living that life, but you don't have to be triggered per se by the artist that wrote it, and then that come back to you.
And the bottom line is she's still getting paid. She's still going to the bank because this person had to buy the books, right, to then revamp them.
That's
you know?
true, too.
So.
And just a quick side note on that, buy from local artists or Etsy artists who make their own product of, Harry Potter and style merch, and not directly from, like things like Harry Potter themed areas.
Okay, it's a very interesting thing. One of the things that we get out of South protest comes in all forms and fashions, and we love that. LGBTQ plus news is vital for our community and for the broader world as a whole. We have enough enemies at Fox News. Tucker, Sean, and Laura are loud. We need passionate allies. Happening Out Television Network, Queer News Tonight, and It's Happening Out are literally out of the closet and into the headlines. Our community needs your support. Like this broadcast and subscribe now to ensure the growth of the entire LGBTQ plus community.